My time has gone past. Let me now recognize the gentleman from Vermont, Mr. Welch, for 5 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Thank you for calling this hearing. I'm sorry I missed that trip with you. It sounded pretty productive. The Oversight Committee is particularly concerned with issues of waste, fraud, and abuse, as you know. Are there credible concerns, as you see it, that terrorists and criminals have fraudulently abused this process to gain asylum protection?
We take our responsibilities of detecting fraud, deterring fraud, ensuring national security very seriously. We have a number of—
No, I understand that, but I'm asking, I know you do that, and I appreciate it that you do it, but some people are concerned about it, and my question is whether that's, in your view, a valid concern, and what would be the basis that it is or it isn't.
Okay. I think that it is a valid concern that in any immigration benefit, we are very wary of individuals exploiting the immigration benefit to do the nation harm. We have a number of things that we do to take that into consideration when we proceed with our adjudication of cases.
Well, you know, it's a tough thing. You got somebody that has got an asylum case. They, if they're going to succeed in getting asylum, it means that they have got to be able to convince us that they really have a threat that's awaiting them if they return home. But on the other hand, there's a lot of people who see that as an opportunity to try to get in. So how do you figure that out? You know, it's a very tough interview, I would imagine.
It's a very difficult job to have. In the affirmative context, we train our officers very well. We think that the best trained officer is the best defense against fraud and addressing national security concerns. We have an approximately an hour and a half to 2 hour interview with each case. We run a number of different security checks on them. We also study country conditions, and we have a system that if we do find that they commit fraud or there is a national security concern, we immediately place that individual into removal proceedings before an immigration judge, as well as we liaise with ICE, the FBI, and the U.S. Attorney to prosecute cases that are committing fraud. As an example, the chairman rightly illustrated the recent case that was up in New York. We went to the FBI with that case and showed them the evidence, as well as ICE, and began the ball rolling to have that case prosecuted, and it was a successful prosecution. We've got many successful prosecutions of cases throughout the tenure that I've been with the USCIS for the last 20 years. I'd be happy to provide those for the record.
Are there any provisions in the current law that, in your view, could be amended so as to improve the likelihood that you would not see as much abuse of the asylum or abuse of the asylum process? To get that balance right, we want to have this country open to provide asylum to people who are eligible for it, but we obviously don't want the system to be abused.
I think that the Asylum Corps effectively utilizes the present statutes in order to detect and deter fraud, as well as address national security concerns.
How much evidence is there of this asylum process having been abused?
We have, I guess it depends on your definition of abuse. We have approximately a 45% approval rate in the affirmative asylum context, which means that we place 55% of the individuals that apply for asylum directly in removal proceedings. I wouldn't say that the 55% are abusing the process, but it would be a subgroup of that we refer.
And what did you say was the normal time between application and completed adjudication?
Okay. With the credible fear context, we're dealing with a 14-day adjudication period. The vast majority of cases are interviewed and adjudicated within 14 days of referral. With the affirmative asylum process, for many, many years, we had a very high success rate, 85, 90% success rate of 60-day turnaround. We've begun to slip on that because asylum applications have begun to increase. However, we have new officers that are coming on board that will be addressing that issue. We should be back to 60 days next year.
Great. Okay, thank you. Mr. Chairman, I yield back. Thank you, Mr. Langley.